Live from Los Angeles, you are watching Midnight Movie Talk as we get into it here on this Sunday night. Eric Weber in the host chair. Excited to have you here on the big Sunday night spectacular. And our big question tonight is, how was Fast X's debut? Now, you know the numbers. If you don't by now, I'll tell you right now. You looked at 67.5 million stage side, global 319. Now, that sounds great, right? It's like, that's a good number. Let's go to THR and pull it up and see what they have to say. But here's the problem. The film cost $340 million. That's the budget for the film. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the film. I mean, for what it is, listen, when we evaluate films, right, we're evaluating the film against what it's trying to be. And this is a brainless action film that we've seen so many times before in the Fast franchise, but this time it's made that much better by Jason Momoa. I mean, Jason Momoa is front and center and one of the absolute best villains, not just in this franchise, but I think one of the most flamboyantly entertaining villains that we've seen in a really long time on the big screen. So let's look and see what THR had to say about it, because when you look at it, one of the things that really pops here about Fast X is the fact that it did really well in China. You know, a lot of these films are not been doing that well over there, and this one did. Look, it opened to 78.3 million in China alone, and you wonder why we're getting a Fast 11 and possibly a 12, because these films keep making money, especially internationally. 16.7 million, Mexico, France, 9.7, Brazil, 9.6, India, 8.6, on and on it goes. And franchise best, 7 million in Japan. So all of this adds up to, this film is actually, I would say this is a good start, right? I mean, it's not quite at the budget, but listen, it's going to get there fast. It'll get at least to the budget. Now, as we all know, the budget's not what you need to make. You need to make essentially about a 3 multiple. So you really need to be almost making $1 billion here to make profit on this, okay? Because think of the ad spend, right? The promotional material in this film alone is a fortune. So you add all that up and you're looking at, let's say 900 and some odd million to break even. Good start, especially globally. This is down, though, from F9 stateside. We had this thing, by the way, if you were here Thursday night, we had it at 72 million. So we're close. We were one of the closest on the projection. Everyone had it at like 58, 60. I go, no, this thing's going to go closer to 70. We took it a little high at 72, ends up at 67.5, but it's close enough to Fast 9. And listen, F9 is a terrible film. Right, we can agree. F9 is the kind of film that makes you want to give up the franchise altogether. When you watch that film, you're like, I don't need to ever see another Fast and Furious film ever in the history of planet Earth. And then I decided, yes, I will go see Fast X. Obviously, talking about movies, I need to see the movies. And I said, wait, this film is hella better than F9. And again, Jason Momoa makes this thing so much more palatable. The man just brings it full throttle. If you haven't seen it, you do need to see it. Because as you see here, Superhero Movies is with me on this. Fast X, pure fun in the cinema. Me and my friends were almost constantly laughing at how ridiculous the film is. What an experience. Momoa stole the show. Although it would have been far more effective if he went the intense focus route instead of the flamboyant route. Okay, yes, but it's Fast and Furious. You're going to get a cartoonish vibe throughout this entire film. I mean, it's all a big goof, right, at the end of the day. But at least this time, you don't have Fieros in outer space. That's where you really just jump the shark. When you've got the Fiero in outer space, you're like, this is absurd to a level now that I don't want to watch. So at least now we have Louis taking this thing, bringing it down to at least semi-grounded, even though, yes, it is F9. So, I mean, it's F10 in this case. And it's going to be just goof at the end of the day. And you have to go along with that. That's just what it is. He should have gone that way, flamboyant. Yeah, listen, again, but he still is really the highlight here, right? I mean, we can all agree on that. Momoa is probably the best villain we've had in the whole franchise. Charismatic. One step ahead of Dom, motivation, right? We had a swerve. We had all kinds of fun stuff. I mean, the film works. Is it a great film. Come on, guys. We're talking about a Fast and Furious movie. But anyone, let's make sure that this is absolutely wallpapered. Anyone who says F9 is better than F10, we talk about it often. This is one of these things you can't get wrong. If you do have those films flipped, and you're telling me F9 is better than FX, you, my friend, are done in the history going forward, and frankly going back in time for any movie evaluation ever. That's how bad that is a miss. You can't miss like that. You just can't. F9 is fucking horrible. F10 is not. Okay? So make sure you're right. Anytime, listen, whenever you see someone like that, please go into the comments and say, you are not a serious critic. You're not even a serious movie watcher. You, my friend, suck at evaluations. Definitely the best villain. I mean, no question about it. You got hernia surgery tomorrow. Okay, well then we got to get to the goods. My God, let's keep you entertained for a little bit here, Life of Brian, before you have your hernia surgery. I was a little more physical with the role, considering the physique he has. It wouldn't have hurt a couple of fight scenes. Well, you know what though, Momoa after Aquaman. I mean, I don't know. I didn't plan to do a physique critique tonight, but if we did. There was Momoa Aquaman, and then there's Momoa like, I'm in shape, but I'm not Aquaman. You know, it's weird, and you guys know, if you don't, I'll tell you. I'm sure you probably do. I try to go to the gym a lot and stay in good shape. It's part of what I do. I just think it's important for me. It's part of who I am. And when I watch a star like a Jason Momoa, or we used Chris Pratt the other night in the Physique Critique, when you're getting paid tens of millions of dollars, right, to be in a film, I mean, literally, your physicality, especially for a role like this, is everything. Why are you not in the gym 4 hours a day like The Rock? You know, that's why I give The Rock so much credit. That guy stays in shape 365. I mean, there's not a day off for that guy. He is constantly obsessed about being in the absolute best condition. Now, I understand that's one extreme, but if you're Jason Momoa, if you're Chris Pratt, you're playing an action figure, you need to look as mint as possible. And some of these actors just don't. They don't take their shirts off because they're not in the condition of The Rock. And I'm telling you, if you get paid tens of millions, I don't get paid tens of millions. I go to the gym 5 days a week. If I got paid tens of millions, I'd be up like Mark Wahlberg at 3:30 in the morning lifting weights. Good Lord. Yeah, we do absolutely have prayers up. Hope that goes well. I mean, in the realm of surgery, is that I imagine that's not. It's a decent surgery, if there is a way to say that. All right. Good luck to you. I'm sure you'll be fine. Disappointing number for Fast X. John, why do you say that? I mean, again, if you put it up against the budget of 340, then I understand what you're saying. But, this is a really good start internationally. That's what we're focusing on here tonight. In fact, let's pull up the Fast and Furious franchise, and you can see where we're at when we look at this film versus the other films. So this opened at 67.5, F9 70, Hobbs and Shaw was at 60. Fate of the Furious was at 98, and then go back to Furious 7, of course, with the end of Paul Walker, 147 million. So this is diminishing returns, no doubt about it. And I think Universal does need to be a little bit worried about Fast 11 when this film only opens to, less than half of what Furious 7 did. This franchise really should end with 11. I think that they talked about making 3 films out of this. That would be a mistake if I'm Universal. I would say, listen, based on the results we're seeing early here, we're going to make 11 the second half. In other words, like I said from the beginning when I watched Fast X a couple of Fridays ago, Infinity War, and then Endgame. You do not need 2 more Fast and Furious films. There's got to be a way to write this thing and conclude it in 11. That's what my advice would be. Whenever I give advice, studios, you really should listen. You really should. The listeners, the viewers, you guys know very much that when I say something like that, it's pretty much dead on. Okay, let's also bring this up. This is good news for Marvel again this weekend. When you look at this, Guardians of the Galaxy held again at a minus 48, I think. Minus 48 again. It's now at 659 million. So call it 600 and 60 million globally after the third weekend. So this should get to 800 million and beyond. Remember, look, this is directly from the Disney email here. 659 global has exceeded the final gross of 15 MCU releases going all the way back. Obviously, original Guardians of the Galaxy, it beats that. Captain America Winter Soldier, it beat that. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Iron Man 2, Doctor Strange. That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. So this film really picked up after that first weekend. We were like, I don't know. Guardians, this was a muted opening. I mean, granted, it was not a $70 million opening, but it wasn't as high as we expected. But now it's picked up, and it's 659. We're going to get to 800 million, and that will be a win for Marvel. The problem, though, and listen, it's a real, very real issue. The Marvels is still in trouble no matter what happens with Guardians. The interest level for this film, like we talked about the other night with Indiana Jones 5, I think Indiana Jones 5 is certainly in better shape than the Marvels. The Marvels is a film that really nobody's looking forward to. Let's just, except for maybe Brie Larson and the young actress who's plays, she's new. That's it. Those are the only people that are interested in this film coming out. This film is in big trouble. I mean, we're talking about major trouble for the Marvels. The only thing that is positive that I can say about the Marvels right now is that we are 6 months away. And that is 6 months of getting away from the MCU that it needs to refresh. The MCU needs to disappear. If there is a show upcoming, I don't watch the shows, but if there is one, I'm putting that sucker on. I know we've got, what do we got? What is the next one? I don't watch it, Secret Invasion. I don't watch any of the shows. But I'm telling you, the more product, the more trouble the Marvels is in coming up here in November. I told you guys to push that thing until January because that's the dead zone of the movie-going calendar, and that film could maybe survive there, possibly survive there. A few more comments. We're going to get into more stories tonight. I want to get to the first reactions out of Cannes, not Cannes, Cannes, for whenever someone says that, I go, stop. Please don't say Cannes. Don't do that. For Killers of the Flower Moon. We're going to talk about it here momentarily. Yeah, Secret Invasion. That's right. Secret Invasion. I don't watch the shows. I mean, it's going to be so much fun to hate. I mean, there is that real opinion. There is that deal, though. Doc Strange did 950 with no China and Russia. Thomas, we talked about it at the beginning. I mean, I'm trying to put a positive spin on it because all the MCU people are like, you hate on it. No. But you're right. I mean, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Midness had 950 million. That is the right title. 950 million. And granted, it's after No Way Home. I understand that that's part of the deal, right? People were still very high on No Way Home, as they should have been. One of the best Marvel films in the history of MCU films, obviously. It's a Sony film, but still one of the best. And then you have now Doctor Strange. Everyone's like, oh, we're going to get this film. Then you watch Doctor Strange 2, and you're like, oh my God, that was such a letdown. 100% letdown. So, yeah, if you put it up against Doctor Strange, it still is way behind. Way behind. But if this gets to 800, and that got to 960, whatever, that's close, that's 160, I can live with that, right? I can live with that situation. I think Marvel and Disney would have absolutely agreed with that as well. Let's go here. It should have stopped at 7. Now you're talking about Fast X. Listen, when the movie's making that much money, because Fast 7 made globally, what's the global number on Fast 7? I got the domestic. The global number on Furious 7 was 1.5 billion. That's why they didn't stop. 1.5 billion. You're like, let's just keep going. As long as a franchise is still making money, you're never going to see a studio say we're not going to make another, even though we are always of the belief that there has to be a reason for the film to exist. It's like Indiana Jones 5. We talked about it the other night. Check out the new video that just posted. I cut it out of the stream. We talk about who really wanted this film. And I think that as Fast X kind of revitalizes the franchise, they need to realize it's a short-lived revitalization, and they need to get ready for 11 to be the last film. That would be absolutely what Universal should do. We said that with Jurassic World. At some point, you have to just take a break, and we need at least 5 years before we get another Jurassic film. And I'm talking from now. Not from last year. Now I'll take another 5 years. You need time to regenerate any kind of interest in these films. It's just too much content and too much the same shit. I mean, we want to see new things, don't we? And speaking of new things, let's get into it. The first Killers of the Flower Moon react. Martin Scorsese's latest 3.5 hours. This film is going to be released by Paramount. It is under the Apple TV Plus umbrella, but Paramount is going to give it the theatrical push coming up in October. It debuted in Cannes the other day, and here are the first reactions to that. Let's pull it up. I'm going to go to, I believe, Collider has an article that I like about all the reactions, so let's do it. Listen, it's Scorsese. What I already like about this film, and I only watched the teaser trailer. I don't want to watch much more than that. I don't want to know too much more about this film. I didn't read the book. I just want to tell you that the number one thing I like about this film is not even Scorsese. The number one thing I like about it is what? Help me out, everybody. The fact it's theatrical and the fact that Paramount is releasing it, not Netflix, who can't figure out theatrical to save their lives, and they have no idea what prestige films mean, because I sit through things like a film we're going to talk about in a few minutes, The Mother, which is an abomination of a film, another Gray Man-esque kind of outing that I'm just like, why do they even exist? If I were a filmmaker and Netflix said, we want to make your film, I would say, no, I don't want to make a film with you, Netflix, because you have no quality control on your films. The Mother is an abomination. I can't believe it got made. We'll talk about it in a minute. Let's talk about something good. So here's Killers of the Flower Moon. 3.5 hours long. You got Leo DiCaprio. Everyone's really raving about this Lily Gladstone. She's the lead in this film along with Leo, it looks like. It earns its runtime. Just going through a few of these things here. Scorsese's the right person to tell the story. Wow, a harrowing story is difficult to watch given the subject matter, but you can't help but marvel at the mastery on the screen. Matt Naglia, the man who loves likes for tweets. The powerful ending took this from solid to excellent. A tragic rumination on greed and power. Matt delving into his New York Times film critic voice there. Yasmin, Killers of the Flower Moon is an utterly exceptional and more gripping by the every minute and honest adaptation. Okay. I mean, everything's really powerful. There's one review I saw that said it doesn't earn the runtime. It's slow. Listen, it's 3.5 hours long, so I'm sure that is an issue. Enthralling. Scorsese may have earned the right to tell a movie at 3.5 hours. Doesn't make it the right decision. A compelling true crime story told from the... Okay, so there's Peter DeBruge saying that it's maybe a little long. David Elric, I don't trust at all. I think he's a very average film critic at best. I really do. And he's one of the few that he raved about F9. So that's why I don't trust that guy ever again. I mean, you can't rave about F9. You just can't, and then ever be taken seriously in the history of film. You guys are all going to jump on me and say, Ant-Man. For those of you who watched Ant-Man this weekend, you know it's not that bad. You watched it. It's not. It's just not. There's another article I'm going to get to. But in general, all this stuff is really good. It's like at 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. No surprise. A rich, immersive masterclass that braids together the interests of his past projects make that from Total Film. Yeah, it's all positive. Listen, here's the challenge that's going to be... Okay, we need to get rid of the ad there. The challenge for Apple TV Plus and for Paramount is we just had this film debut and it's May. So now what you need to do, and you see studios do this very often when films debut at Cannes and even in Toronto and Venice, when they're going to hit a few months later, you really need the film to pretty much go away. You want those initial reactions to come in, like we're seeing here with Killers of the Flower Moon, that are very high and very positive. Now what you want to do is let the film fade into black. Let it disappear for a few months. No one should be talking about Killers of the Flower Moon. In fact, if I'm Apple, I'm not screening this again until September. So as much as I'd love to see the film here in LA, and Apple will more than likely invite a lot of us to see it here in the nearish future, if I'm Apple, I'm not showing it to anybody until September. Why is that? Because you do not want a film to peak too early when it comes to awards. One day they're going to hire me to be not just a studio head, but the awards whisperer, where I tell you this is what you do with the film. You're going to do this, this, and this. And the number one thing I'm telling Apple here tonight is that you want to make this film disappear until, I'd say, late September. I say you do the LA premiere in mid to late September, bring everyone back going, oh yeah, that's right, Killers of the Flower Moon. Because the last thing you want is for the buzz to die by the time this film comes out in October. Because what happens during award season, you guys know, anyone who goes to awardsace.com, you followed me throughout the years, you guys know that as every week goes on and on as we get closer to the end of 2023, and that deadline of the release, at least in New York or LA, hits by January 1st, 2024. Those films that come in late often have a great advantage because they're fresh and people are like, this is the new, fresh, hot film. So as such, you want to keep this film on ice until late September. That is my advice for Killers of the Flower Moon, for Apple and Paramount, who's partnering in that release. But I mean, guys, how about this? How much more prestige does Killers of the Flower Moon carry with a theatrical release from Paramount at AMC, at Regal, at Cinemark versus Netflix at a couple of random indie theaters throughout the States? The difference is proverbial night and day, right? Netflix, you still don't get it. I don't know what you're doing down there. You pay people a shit ton more money than what I make to make shitty decisions. Netflix, if you bring me in, I will come in and fix that shit, no joke, in about 24 hours. Give me maybe 12. I might even like 12. I'm going to start firing people. I'm going to start changing everything. The first thing I'm going to do is get on the phone. I'm grabbing the phone. I'm calling AMC. I'm talking to Adam Aaron, and I'm saying, listen, what do we need to do to get us theatrical with you? We did Glass Onion. I want to do a full theatrical with you for The Killer and David Fincher. Hire me, get me in there. Your people at Netflix have no clue what they're doing. Across the board, you have a bunch of bozos working at Netflix. That's the truth, and you guys know I'm right. 100%. It's an embarrassment that there are people getting paid money to make the decisions they make at Netflix. And we're going to dovetail all of this in moments into The Mother, because this is why I'm really on fire again about the shit show that is Netflix. Sham, chances this could be the best Oscars season since forever. We say that every year, don't we? Let's go to awardsace.com and let's go through a few of the, hits and the things that we expect to be big films this award season. Okay, let's roll to Best Picture. Pull it up, awardsace.com, as you guys know, editor-in-chief right here. Let's make it bigger so you guys can see the films I'm going to talk about. We'll make it quick. I'm not going to spend all night on this. Okay, Air. I think it's got a shot. It's early release, but listen, it can happen. Amazon will work that film. Asteroid City, interesting to see how that debuts over at Cannes here any days. Tomorrow, it's very soon. Barbie, probably not. Bo's afraid. Let me laugh for a second. Let's go and get another big one. Netflix Cast. That's one that's going to be probably... That's one that might not come out this year. Color Purple is going to be a big contender. That's Warner Brothers remake, comes out at Christmas. Dune Part 2, clearly going to be huge. So right now, Sham, I'm looking at this. There's two films that already tell me this is better than last year. That's for sure. The Killer. We already mentioned, obviously, it's David Fincher. It's Netflix. That's the problem. Killers of the Flower Moon, Scorsese, Apple. Maestro is another big one. Bradley Cooper, director, and also, who the hell else is in that? Who's the girl? Is it not Michelle Williams? It's Carey Mulligan, I believe. And then we have Napoleon, Apple. We have Next Goal Wins, Searchlight. Past Lives is an early, A24 is coming out with that very soon here. I can't wait to see the film. It looks very grounded. It looks very well shot. It's shot on film. Can't wait to see Past Lives. Oppenheimer. Saltburn is one from MGM UA. That is Emerald Fennell's second film. Rustin is going to be Netflix's, another big one from them. And then you got Zone of Interest. Someone mentioned that it debuted this just a few days ago over at Cannes, and that is Glazer, who did, what was the weird ass alien movie? Oh my God, with what's her ass? Scarlett Johansson. What's the name? I'm literally forgetting the name of the movie. That movie's amazing. God, that movie's so weird. What a great film. So that could be Zone of Interest, by the way, has to do with the Holocaust. Anytime you have a film that deals with the Holocaust, let's just call it what it is. You're going to see a film that's probably going to do well at the Oscars. Under the Skin, thank you. I knew it would take everyone like 2 seconds. I was like, of course, that scene where she goes into the goo and then the dude explodes. That film messed me up. That guy has been forever. That film was out in 13? I mean, we haven't had a film from him in like a decade. So I can't wait to see Zone of Interest. I know there's one of the people asked me earlier. I saw one of the comments talking about Zone of Interest because that was one, and then the other one was May December, which is Todd Haynes' new movie, which does not have a studio. They're going to sell that over there, and the reaction was very solid on that. So it looks like both of those are going to be contenders. And I think that when you look at May December, you've got Julianne Moore and you got Natalie Portman, so that's going to be big. A few more, and then we'll move on to get ready. I'm gonna trash a film. Netflix just doesn't get it, Claudio. They don't get it. They just have no idea. They should send me a mother popcorn box. So I can do this. I'm gonna destroy it. My bladder can't handle a 3.5-hour Scorsese movie. Some movie series go out on top. The problem is people say they want to see new things. Top Gun, Mario. Yeah, I mean, there's okay, Killers of the Flower Moon. It's just too long for the premise. I guarantee it's too long. I guarantee it. I guarantee that that's the case. Okay, so get ready. We're going to go back to comments. I promise you. Mega YouTube. You and Gordon get some... I know he's angry. I'll watch it. We're fine. We're good. Thank you for the super chat. All right. He is pretty angry. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Let's do it. Let's have some fun tonight. I didn't want to see this movie, but I was sitting around and I said, well, I got to talk about some movie. Here we go. It's The Abomination, The Mother. Has there ever been a married Hollywood couple with 2 films simultaneously released that are both complete pieces of shit? Number 1, Hypnotic. By, yes, you know who's in that, Ben Affleck. The other half of the married couple. Tonight, I watched J-Lo in The Mother. This film, why do they make this shit? This is a horribly edited film. This is a poorly acted film. I mean, even J-Lo, listen, I like Jennifer Lopez. I think she's really strong in Hustler. But her playing an assassin, trying to get her daughter back, right? Does this sound like a film that you even want to lay eyes on? Let me help you with that. The answer is no. Why is it that Netflix, when I watch The Gray Man and now I watch The Mother, this is directed by the woman who directed the Mulan live action. By the way, not a great film. The Mulan live action was flat. Nikki Caro, I believe, is her name. Now, this film has some edits that you just are curious as a filmmaker, did you go to film school? Because what I see on the screen, very much like, don't make me pull the box up, The Gray Man, these edits are rapid fire. The edits are unnecessary, and a lot of them are jump edits where you have someone like walking up and all of a sudden, boom, they're in the car. Or she's coming down the ladder and then all of a sudden she's down. These kind of edits are unacceptable for a feature film. And this gets back to what I just said about Netflix. The script's terrible. The editing's bad. Why did you make a movie with J-Lo as an assassin? Who said yes to this at any amount of money? Is Netflix just happy creating content for their crappy channel? Because they have nothing good. I don't watch any of the shows, but I'm just going to let me be hyperbolic, please. From a film perspective, they're an embarrassment of a film studio. If I were an actor and they said, hey, we want you to come be in a Netflix film, I'd say, I'm going to pass and wait until another studio, and I mean any studio, asks me to be in a film. Anyone, including Gravitas Ventures, and maybe even Vertical Entertainment. That's how little I think of Netflix as a film studio. The fact that the film people that started that, Scott Stuber, has been the head of that studio. How does he have a job? How do you have a job releasing films like The Mother, giving the green light to a sequel to The Gray Man? What are we doing? What are Netflix? You are an embarrassment. And as I tweeted out earlier, this is a picture of a billboard that I saw. They had a comedy thing. It was called Netflix is a Joke. Well, let me tell you something. Let me pop it up and make it nice and large so everyone can see it. The truth is that yes, Netflix, you are a joke. You are a joke, Netflix. You just don't get it, man. You make these films that tarnish the brand. If Warner Brothers was so embarrassed of Batgirl that they Batgirled it, then what is Netflix doing not Batgirling 99.8% of the films that they actually make? When they watch them, they're like, we're going to go ahead and Batgirl that. This is terrible because they don't know what they're doing. And yes, Netflix is a joke and a bad one at that. Am I ever going to another Netflix movie? They're now, at this point, Netflix is going to do, here's what they're going to do. They are going to, if they ever have a theatrical component at AMC or Regal, they are going to hire someone to hang out at the AMC 16 at the top of the stairs and go, sir, you are not allowed into our movie. You are not allowed to come in and watch The Killer. I'm like, but I just want to, nope, you're barred from any and all future Netflix films. But think about this. Is there a better studio to be barred from than Netflix? Pretty much no. I mean, what? They don't even have theatrical. They are, help me out everybody, a joke. You are a joke, Netflix, with your non-theatrical, trying to be serious, but you ain't serious because nobody takes you serious, especially with films like that piece of... The Mother. So bad. If Netflix made Beau's Afraid, then I mean, they could have. It sure looks like a Netflix film, like no guidance whatsoever to the director. Just make whatever you want. Netflix is the new canon films. My God, throwback. You know what, Thomas? Then don't crank out content. You know, listen, don't even do it. If you're gonna make crap, now listen. We have, there's plenty of people that say, this channel cranks out a bunch of crap, but here's the truth. We're not on every night. We're not trying to fill up. You know, imagine if MMT was on every single night and we were doing like, what's his name? The one guy who literally has takes on every single piece of entertainment content that you could ever imagine. Tonight we're reviewing a book and a show and a cartoon. We're also going to do movies and video games on the side as well. You know that guy, the guy we made Show of the Week a few weeks ago. That's not what we do. That's what Netflix is doing. They just like, let's just keep putting crap out there. If we did MMT every night, the show would be terrible. And some of you would argue it already is. And that's, I mean, that's your opinion. It's certainly semi-valid. But you can't just keep cranking out the stuff and expect people not to go, this is junk. It's junk. You loved what? The Mother? I hope you're not talking about The Mother. I mean, good. Real opinion, you're all over the map. I might have to put you in timeout. Did you hear what? No, I didn't see it. I didn't see White Men Can't Jump. It's a Netflix movie, right? I might have to watch it after watching. Okay, listen. Mega YouTube. Let's talk about something. this is something I've never talked about. This is going to be an interesting discussion, and I think it's really a good discussion to have. So I hope you guys are ready for this. Have you ever seen a movie where a single performance destroys the entire film? Now, come in with your takes right now, and tell me what film that you saw that one performance in the film detonated the entire enterprise. It was over. The thing was over because of this performance. And I'm so glad you brought this up tonight, Mega YouTube. The Card Counter. For those of you who've seen it, it is actually Paul Schrader. I think the film is very interesting. I like the direction on it. I like the screenplay enough. There is a major problem with the Card Counter. And I don't mean a small problem. I mean a completely off-the-rails, film-destroying problem with the Card Counter. And this is something I don't know if anyone's ever discussed, but I've been holding this, and I'm just gonna let it up. So if you've ever seen a film that one performance destroys a film, the Card Counter is that film. That performance is Tiffany Haddish. It is, when you watch the Card Counter and you see Oscar Isaac and you see his delivery, one of the best actors, right, going today, Oscar Isaac. And then he has to be opposite Tiffany Haddish. And you just watch an actor knowing as he is delivering the lines that what he is making, the film that he is in, is going to be terrible. And what a shame. But that's the reality. That is why performances have to be unilaterally great. And when they're not, you could be in for a situation where the entire film is torpedoed by the performance that was not anywhere near the level needed for the film. And Johnny, you saw it. You didn't like the Card Counter. And I guarantee I know why you didn't like the Card Counter. We just said it. The performance destroys the film. Elvis is a great, it's just so everyone knows. So when everyone say, well, wait a second, you're attacking a woman of color. Well, listen, Tom Hanks destroys Elvis, but somehow, through the miracle of Austin Butler and Baz Luhrmann's direction, it's saved. It somehow is redeemed. Card Counter's not. The Card Counter is not at all. It is destroyed by that performance because the film isn't as great as Elvis. So if you're going to have a bad performance, the film's going down hard. Elvis is so great across the board that you can get by with a very bad Tom Hanks performance. Awkwafina in Renfield is absolutely, man, is that a bad performance. Also, the other guy in Renfield, the comedian. When I came out of Renfield, what did I tell you guys? Who is that? That's the Sonic guy. How is that guy a star? He's terrible. He's unwatchable. What's his name? That is one of the worst performances in a movie I've ever seen. It's worse than Haddish in Card Counter. That's how bad that guy's performance. Sonic. What's his name? Someone tell me. I'm not looking it up. The Sonic guy that's in that thing. It's so bad. It's so terrible, that guy. What's his name? I can't know what's coming in the comments. I will keep railing on this guy and talking about he's so bad. The Sonic guy. Damn it. I'm just going to call him the Sonic guy. Tiffany Haddish might have some dirt on Paul Schrader. I mean, maybe. It's not. It's such a bad performance. It's miscast. It's not just miscast. It's a bad performance. Tiffany Haddish is not a drama actress. She is a comedic actress. You cannot put her in that. It is a truly bad performance, and it destroys the film. And you are the only person who liked Tom Hanks and Elvis. This is what makes it such. This is why I tell you guys to watch certain films. Like, go, if you haven't watched The Card Counter, and there's a chance you haven't. When you watch The Card Counter, you're gonna look at this film and say, "Oh my God, this is bad. The performance is that bad." And you're going to see how a film is brought to its knees by a bad performance. You probably saw Elvis, and you know what we're talking about when we talk about that. But why I recommend these films like Empire of Light and Card Counter is that I want you to watch these films because they are case studies. They are things you need to watch to get better at evaluations. So when you see why a film doesn't work, like tonight watching The Mother. The editing's terrible. The editing by itself is enough to say that it's an embarrassment. The screenplay is number 2. Those two things are subpar for a theatrical film, and I know it's not theatrical, and we can clearly see why. But it's subpar for a film. It's TV show direction like in the 80s. It's bad. But when you watch these films, it's important. Ben Schwartz is terrible. Ben Schwartz in Renfield is absolutely one of the worst, most annoying performances I've ever sat through. I need you guys to tell me how that guy's famous. Has he done something that's actually entertaining? Because the voice of Sonic is not enough for me. It's a voice. It's not that he's reading the script. It's a voice. I mean, I could have another guy voice that and I'd be fine. It's not that. Ben Schwartz, tell me he does something that'll make me say that he's decent. Because I don't know what it is. I don't listen. I don't know. I don't know. Bryce Dallas Howard is not great in Dominion. She's not great. I don't think it ruins the film because it's a dinosaur movie. The problem with Card Counter is it's a small drama, right? Very small. And you only have 3 performances in that, right? You've got Oscar Isaac, you've got her, and you've got the young actor, the guy who was in Mud, the kid. Yeah, him. So you got 3 of them. And when one of them is off, like, you're screwed. Like, it's not like something you can even cut out. If I were Paul Schrader, I'm not kidding you, if I were directing that film, I would love to talk to Paul Schrader about this because he might actually go off on it. If I were directing that film and I was watching Haddish perform in the film, I would actually, I would probably say cut, and I would stop, and I'd go over to someone, the producer, studio. We need to recast. Like I'm not talking like we need to do it now because this film is shooting. We need to get who is our second choice because whoever that was, I don't care who it was, we need to get that person to set tomorrow because this is not working. And you saw that. Remember the movie in Entourage? Remember Vinny? He ran into the director and they were like, "We're cutting this guy out. He's not working." That I can't believe that Paul Schrader didn't just say, "You're out of here." I mean, that performance destroys that film, destroys it. I know it's an uncomfortable conversation. It has nothing to do, by the way, we just mentioned Tom Hanks and Elvis, so it's not, we're talking about performances that destroy films. Isla Fisher and Nocturnal Animals, that's an interesting pick. Oh yeah, Defoe was in that, wasn't he? You're right, he's such a small role in that film. I forgot about it. Sorry, Ty Sheridan. I forgot Defoe was in there. The problem with the film is that she destroys the film. You don't even want to watch anymore. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame because you are given a very great burden as an actor, right? You have to carry this writer, this director's project and make that vision become reality. So when we get performances that are of a level of, you mentioned Elvis and Austin Butler, when you watch any performance from Oscar Isaac, going back to Card Counter and anything he's ever done, you're looking at actors who elevate Leonardo DiCaprio, right? I mean, there's on and on and on. We have so many actors that elevate, right, the scene. Viola Davis. Then when they're in the film, you instantly level up, right? Not 1 or 2, you're leveling up. The worst thing you want is an actor where you're leveling down, actively scaling down, and you're going into the negatives, and that's what happens in the Card Counter. What a great pick for that. That is your homework tonight, by the way. I have another film for homework, but that is your homework tonight, to watch the Card Counter, to see a performance that destroys a film. You know, that's one of the things we're going to do with these MMT must-sees is we're picking out an element of a film that I want you guys to latch onto to notice. I'm sure, trust me, you didn't need me to tell you that Tiffany Haddish is absolutely horrible in the Card Counter. But it's interesting to bring these films up because they're films you probably didn't see. And that's what I love when you see so many of these things. You get to see what is good, what is great, what is better than that, wherever we go to, up the scale all the way to masterpiece. But you see the elements that make it so. And the reason I always bring up, here it is again, Empire of Light, which is right there on the corner. You see it? It's right on the corner. I got to move it. You can almost see it. Empire of Light is fascinating because everything's great about it except for the screenplay. Everything in that film is superb except for the screenplay. Therefore, it's a film you really need to watch. 100%. Okay, you know what? Hold on for a second. I gotta put Real Opinion in timeout. Sorry, Real Opinion, you're blocked. You're just annoying me at this point. Okay, so you finally watched Halloween Ends last night. Not in the mood to watch bad films right now. It's so bad. Whiplash, did you see it? Because it's absolutely terrible. Let's go. Let's see. I've got everything here tonight. I want to make sure that I get to... tonight's shirt is Nottingham Forest, and for those of you who don't know, they're going to stay up in the Premier League. They went up to the Premier League last year, and now this year they are staying in. They just survived, so they're not going down. So that's why we picked Nottingham Forest tonight for the Sunday Night Spectacular. I also want to mention on tonight's schedule. So we have 15 minutes left in tonight, and then tomorrow, looks, we might have a show tomorrow. We might have a show, and guess what film we might be talking about? We might be talking about The Flash tomorrow, okay? So I will, in the community tab, I will update you in the community tab if we are going to have a stream for The Flash tomorrow, a reaction/review. The embargo, at this point, everyone's talked about that film, so I'm not even going to listen to an embargo. I'm going to do it spoiler-free. We're going to talk about, if I get a chance to see it, which is looking pretty good, we will do a stream tomorrow. Only on The Flash. Only. So tonight is everything else. Tomorrow, The Flash. And then later this week, Little Mermaid reaction, either Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't decided which day. Check the community tab. And always at 9 o'clock, you just swing by, get the notifications, and you'll know if I'm on. Let's talk about tonight, because I do want to do this before we get to more comments. The MMT must-see. Tonight, I made the card counter one of them. But the other one is The Place Beyond the Pines. So The Place Beyond the Pines, and I talk about this film very often. The Place Beyond the Pines is a film that I need you to watch because I really want you to see how to start a film. If you want to make the first third of your film kick total and complete ass, you need to watch Place Beyond the Pines. This is Derek Cianfrance, director of Blue Valentine, as you see there. Ryan Gosling, Eva Mendes, they met on this film, and of course now they are married with kids. This film and that opening scene, he is a carnival worker. There's some of it there, spinning the knife around. It's a one-take wonder where he walks from his trailer into the ball on the motorcycle that spins around the motorcycle thing. The motorcycle's going around and around at this like carnival, like redneck carnival in upstate New York. Ryan Gosling and the beginning of this film, the way it's shot, the way it moves, I love it. In fact, I don't even know if there's a better first 30-ish minutes of a film. That's how strong Place Beyond the Pines is. Now, the problem with the film, and this is why it's your must-see tonight, is that the second and third act of this film do not live up to the first act. The first act is amazing, then something happens and you're probably going to go, your jaw's going to be agape going, oh my, what is happening? And when that happens, just know that unfortunately the film will not get as great as it was for that opening scene in the first, like, say, 30 minutes or so. I might even watch it again myself. I haven't watched it. I saw it twice in theaters, okay? And I interviewed Derek Cianfrance in Boston, and I talked about that scene. He said he took at least 50, I think it was like over 50 takes for that first scene. I love the film. And one thing also, when you watch Place Beyond the Pines, that one-take opening scene is exactly what Lorraine, what's her name, Scoffia, oh shit, what's her name from Hustlers? I got the film back here somewhere. Hustlers, the opening scene of Hustlers was patterned off of Place Beyond the Pines. It's a film that Hollywood knows. It's a film that Hollywood respects, and I highly recommend you check it out. It is tonight. It's tonight's MMT must-see. All right, about 10 minutes on this thing, and I'm just exhausted, as you guys may know. Thoughts on AntMan 3, right? A rumor to be removed off Kang Dynasty. Thank God, you might be upset. You guys are still like a MODOK. He ruined it. Listen, Kang Dynasty is going to be in disarray until they figure out the Jonathan Majors situation. Jonathan Majors, I saw some video of him. Apparently he's with his new girlfriend, and they made their way from L.A. or New York to L.A. on the plane. There's some video of them, like, getting off the plane. So he's out here in L.A. now. No one really knows what's happening next with that. We know that we already have the court proceedings in New York. Marvel said nothing. We're still in this holding pattern with this. So I don't know what's going to happen. So as far as Kang Dynasty, I mean, you got time. You got plenty of time. to worry about this because you got Jonathan Majors is in this situation. We have no idea what's going to happen with him, right? Oh, thank you. You're talking. Okay, it's open comment time. Let's go. Anything you want to do, let's do it here as we roll out the rest of the show here tonight. Maybe the Flash tomorrow. Check in. I'll let you know via the community tab. Let's open it up. Let's do open comments here time tonight. The lines are open. The lines are open, everybody. Yeah, Corey's absolutely the worst in placement of lights. In Halloween Ends. It's just truly awful. The Ryan Gosling storyline's perfect. Exactly. Too bad the rest. Exactly. Gone Girl, you and I are on the same page quite a bit. I do love Ryan Gosling. I'm not going to lie to you. I love his abs. He's got a very good physique. In fact, we'll do that next week. I'm not going to do it tonight. I don't have time to put it together. I'll do it next Sunday. We'll do Ryan Gosling physique critique. I think he's got a great physique. He looks really good. It feels like 3 films, sham. But that first act, second act, yeah, and then you have Ray Liotta and you have Bradley Cooper. And then the third act with the kids, it just doesn't work. But the first act, I agree with you saying about Place Beyond the Pines. It's still, no, the film's still good. I just think it's just a shame it couldn't be as good as that. Snyder said he was removed before the strike. Okay, well, then there you go. I'm going to tell you about theater camp. Here's why I didn't talk about theater camp, Johnny. I'm going to mention it really quick because you asked about it. I really like theater camp. Theater camp for me is, and people say Waiting for Guffman. For me, Best in Show. I mean, obviously they're very similar mockumentaries, right? But when you look at theater camp, you're looking at a really funny, really entertaining film. I'm going to get more into it coming up as we get closer to the date. The problem with seeing a film like Theater Camp this early is that it doesn't come out until July. So I don't want to waste my words on a film that I'd rather just save bottled up and really get into as we get closer to the actual release date. And by the way, that's not until July. I mean, we're looking at about like another 5-6 weeks. So thank you, Searchlight, for getting me in early. They trusted me to see it early, which is always a little bit of a risk, a little bit of a gamble. Let me see a movie early. But you know, we're fair to films, and Theater Camp worked for me, and there's a lot of really good performances. The kid from, I never even saw that film. What was the one, the Universal film where the guy was too old? The guy who was too old to play a high school kid. What was the name of the movie? I didn't watch it. I'm going to watch it now because he's very good in Theater Camp. Ben, what's his ass? Whatever. I don't have it in front of me. No, we're not going to do it. Elizabeth Olsen, we already did that. Elizabeth Olsen, there's nothing to critique on her. Are you kidding me? Blackberry's good. Blackberry's really good. Screenplay is one of the best screenplays of the year, Blackberry. I've got the video there. If you didn't see the Blackberry reaction, go check it out. The videos, what I'm trying to do now is cut something out of the stream and at least post one video for those of you who, you know, don't want to watch an entire hour. I know it's a lot of me. It's a lot. And you want to just watch a little bit. We're going to do that. Like, you know, for Flash, I might cut something out if we see it tomorrow. But tomorrow night, if we do a Flash reaction stream, just know this, that we are going to, if we watch Flash tomorrow, it's only going to be Flash, and it's going to be like 15 minutes tops, just like the Fast Act. Tight. That's it. You can ask me some questions. That's it. None of this hour-long Dear Evan Hansen. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Dear Evan Hansen. I never saw it. Ben Platt. Ben Platt's very good in this film. Very good in this film. I need to watch it, but I heard... I heard there's a lot of issues with it, so I kind of want to see it. I just never got around to it because I knew it was going to be dead. I knew that the film was dead from an awards perspective, so I said, and also at that time I didn't even have A-list, so I was paying for movies I missed the critic screenings. Now that you have A-list, I can see everything, and that's why I see virtually every movie, including films like a Blackberry that I maybe would have skipped. Glad I didn't. One of the best screenplays of the year. Theater Camp trailer's great. Jimmy Tatro, yeah. The film is very funny, okay? And we'll talk about it as we get closer. It's just so far away. Less than 10 minutes. Less than 10. Anything you want to talk about? Let me go through and make sure I didn't miss any super chats here on this Sunday night. There was something I wanted to show. You know, we have 10 minutes. Let's just do it. Hold on for a second. It's going to take me a minute to find. I wanted to do, and I know some of you are going to groan right now. Some of you are going to groan and go, oh, God, he's going to do MMT Gets Freaky. Well, here's why I wanted to do it. Now, I got to find it first. There was a picture that looks like the sun, but it's not really it looks like a CGI sun. And I want to get your take on it. Give me 1 second. I have to go all the way back. I was looking at it this morning when I woke up, and I was like, what the hell am I looking at? Okay, give me a second. I gotta find it. Did I save the like? Sometimes that's what I like the likes for, right? You can save what you're looking for. Here it is. I got it. Okay, check it out. Check it out. Okay, so here it is. You guys ready? Here we go, everybody. For those of you who haven't ever been here, you guys, a lot of people are like, yeah, that's it. We're done with the show for tonight. MMT gets freaky. You guys ready? Here it is. Check out this sun. Okay, look at this sun right here. Now, okay, so this is a thread about how there's something weird with the sun. Now, do you notice that's a picture of the sun, we think. What the hell's going on with that? It's like two circles. It's not bright enough for the sun. Look, here's another. These are people all over the world taking a picture of this, quote, sun, right? It's got like an orange middle, right? You can see, and it's got the red ring. But here's why. Okay, so look. So this guy, here's what I do. I like to follow people on Twitter that have weird things in their, because I like to read as much as possible. Now the reason is because we don't know everything, right? I'm not saying any of this is real or not, but I will say that I always want to ask the question, give me everything. Let me see everything and let me decide. So look, these are a bunch of people saying, look at the sun. Now, here's the weird thing. Hold on, let me see. Let me hit this right here. Give me 1 second. There's a bunch of them in here. There's like a video. Look, it looks like the Teletubby sun. Okay, look at that. Look at this picture right here. Time out. Look at this. Okay. Is that real? What is that? What the hell is that? You guys know I showed you Planet X before. Just tell me no, that's a picture. Someone took a picture of that and they said it's the sun. That's not a sun. What the hell is that? Because look, there's more. Hold on. Just go with it here. Just go with it. There's more. Look, there's two suns. Do you see this? There's two suns. Do you guys see the two suns? These aren't people that are doing CGI. I'm just asking you, what the hell is that? That's two freaking suns. There's 1 and 2. How is that not? Okay. Hold on. There's another one. Look, there's another weird looking sun. The clouds behind the sun. There it is again. Look at this. Okay, wait. There's one. There's a weird thing there. Look at that. What is that thing? Look, they said there's some thing on the sun, like a black thing. Do you guys see that? All I'm saying is, no, it's not. It's always, real opinion, it's always a lens flare with you. But here's the thing. If it looks fake to you, then why is everyone posting the same picture? That's the thing that's weird, right? It looks fake. That's what I'm saying. Look, it looks fake. So look, hold on. Look, where's the one that really looks fake? Give me a second. But my question is like, okay, listen, let me just ask this and go ahead. Everyone can join in and go crazy. All I'm going to ask you before, look, here's another one. Look here. Look at that. That is like that's like an orb. That's not the sun. That's like an orange orb. What the hell is that? I understand there's smoke, as people are saying. I'm just telling you, it's weird. Here's what I'm going to ask you guys. All I'm asking you is this. And you guys know you trust my opinions on a lot of things, and all I'm asking you is this. Is there anybody out there that is within the sound of my voice right now who can tell me that everything that we've been told about the universe is accurate? Now, you're going to want to say yes. You're going to naturally want to say that because you're going to want to believe what you've been told. But at the end of the day, have you or anybody you know actually been to outer space? Have you ever actually been to another planet? Have you ever? My point is very simply this. Just because someone says it's so doesn't mean it is. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm also saying it's not for sure. You need to always ask the question. That's all I'm saying to you guys. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? I'm so tired right now. I can't even. I'm like this. I'm like, I can't. Yeah, Ohio State Buckeyes. All right, guys, listen, tomorrow night we'll be back. We didn't do a show of the week this week because you guys need to help me out. The shills aren't as easy to find, man. Shills are not a dime a dozen. There's a lot, but I can't just attack somebody unless I think for sure. I have to have the receipts that they're a shill. There's some out there. I need your help, guys. You got to help me out here. I can't be spending all day looking for shills. I've already done the big ones. We can't just keep doing them every week. We got to come up with a new. It's your job. Part of the job of the MMT community is to recommend shills of the week. So come into please in the comments, not here in the live chat's harder to get through. Comment after the video. I can do them again, sure. I can do. I'm just asking questions. That's all I'm doing. I'm just asking questions. I'll watch the Starling Girl at some point. I promise. I promise I'll finish the end of it. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for tonight. Maybe tomorrow night we have The Flash. Possibly. If so, I'll put it in the community tab tomorrow, and we'll rock and roll from that point. It should be fun. I really am looking forward to seeing the film because I believe that I'm gonna like at least a lot of it. Don't know yet, but what I see out of the trailers I like. So if it is along that and I'm into it like the trailer, then I have a feeling I'm going to like the film. We'll talk about it tomorrow here on MMT if I see it. If not, we'll talk about it when it comes out. But I'm going to hope to see it tomorrow, and we'll have another stream tomorrow night. Until then, live from Los Angeles, a very tired Eric Weber says good night, and tomorrow night back, maybe, live. If not, we will do Mermaid later this week. Stream's over. Good night from Los Angeles. Peace.